And today is the big day, guys. Finally, everyone's talking about, is there going to be a government shutdown tonight? Okay, so let us investigate. And did we call it to a T as well? Because prices are falling as we speak. Okay, so we're going to be talking about what's going to happen here relatively soon, and it could be beginning this next leg lower for the actual short-term bottom, and then we pump in October, right? October activates. So this is funny. This is funny, guys. Now, we already knew that this would be a big event. I already had a feeling, guys. And here comes Jim Cramer, the biggest contraindicator of them all. It was a cherry on top, okay, of our idea here from Unusual Whales. Jim Cramer has said he doesn't think a government shutdown will have a big impact on the stock market. Dun dun dun. What does that mean, guys? Right? That Jim Cramer is now saying, hey, don't worry, guys, everything is fine. If a government shutdown were to happen here today, it will not have any effect on the stock market, either a pump or a dump. Therefore, if he's actually a contra indicator, guys, okay, whatever he says, the opposite happens, which Elon Musk confirmed this idea a decade ago, okay, because he always gets the calls right in the opposite direction, guys. What do we see here? It means that this government shutdown, whatever is happening today, will have a big impact on the stock market, which trickles down to the crypto market, right? Look at this GIF, guys. This is hilarious. Everyone's just scared of Jim Cramer, right? You know what's so funny about Jim Cramer is that whatever he speaks, right? Whatever he says, look at this. We dead, guys. It's been nice knowing you. Everyone's so scared of what comes out of his mouth because everyone knows that whatever he says, the opposite will 100% happen. It's like 9 out of 10 times, right? Now it's going to crash. Way to go. But look at that. We called it first, though. We literally have a tweet, right? I'm gonna be literally showing you proof what's going to happen. I think from Vice President Vance, I think we are headed to a government shutdown, right? So they believe it will happen, guys. This government shutdown will happen, but Jim Cramer says if it does happen, it won't have any big effect on the market, guys, which therefore it will. So prepare for volatility. I think another lower will be coming up, short-term bottom, and then we move to October.
A very frank conversation with the Senate and House Democratic leadership. Look, the principle at stake here is very simple. We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut that government down. We have disagreements about healthcare policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is an excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it.
So my question to them is why? Why? You know, when we talk about money and the markets, you know what the markets do, guys? This is how I know that it's all manipulated. The markets, the charts, for example, it's like the RSI, right? The RSI has its own path, whatever it does, and it forms some type of structure or pattern, right? And here's price. It forms some type of structure or pattern, guys, and then somehow, some way, news comes out of nowhere, which actually takes the markets in the direction that the manipulators wanted to take it, right? News somehow comes out at the perfect time, right? Which is why we talked about here, we're dumping. We were literally right here yesterday at $2.90, $2.88, right? $2.89, like high 280s, okay, and low 290s. From that point to now, where are we at, guys? We're low 280s, right? Look how many bearish divergences on the 1 hour charts of XRP there were. It was just diabolical, right? The price kept going higher, but the indicator, the momentum, it just kept going lower, right? Momentum was fading away, right? This is like a topping structure right there, right? Distribution. Okay? So this is odd. right? But we're going to be talking about how we may fall even lower in just a bit. But first, let's continue.
If you look at what Chuck Schumer has said in the past consistently, it's whatever our disagreements are, let's negotiate with them. Let's talk about them. Let's figure out a bipartisan solution, but you don't shut the government down. In other words, you don't put a gun to the American people's head and say, unless you do exactly what Senate and House Democrats want you to do, we're going to shut down your government. That's exactly what they're proposing out there. Now we have.
Realistically, I think it's due to the markets, right? Because the markets need some type of excuse to always have the price movement to materialize, right? So there's always an excuse, no matter, they'll pull out anything, right? And this time for a next leg lower, nothing too crazy. I think 260 for XRP, and then for Bitcoin 100, low 100k, right? Like 103k maybe, 206k. And this is the excuse, possibly though, right? We don't know 100% for sure.
To remember, they're very frustrated. They say that they're very frustrated about the fact that this negotiation has not taken place until today. But if you look at the original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care, while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation. We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd, and now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government. We think that's preposterous. We think it's totally unacceptable, and we think the American people are going to suffer because these guys won't do the right thing. Now, I want to make one final point here.
You know what I think about all of this drama? I think the whole world is a clown show, guys. That's what I think, right? How come and why come we can't reach a level of peace, prosperity, right? Wasn't there supposed to be a golden era, a golden age that's supposed to engulf this entire world, right? How come we can't? And why can't that ever be a thing, right? Why is there always something like an obstacle, guys?
You will hear a lot from Senate Democrats, from House Democrats about the fact that American healthcare policy is broken. Well, we know that American healthcare policy is broken. We've been trying to fix it for the 8 months that we've been in office, but every single thing that they accuse about being broken about American healthcare is policy the Democrats have supported for the past decade. So if they want to talk about how to fix American healthcare policy, let's do it. The Speaker would love to do it. The Senate Majority Leader would love to do it. Let's work on it together, but let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do, and the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing. I hope they change their mind, but we're going to see.
So, you know, one side of the group doesn't want the government shut down, right? Because we need these services from the government. The other side is like, you know, you have to comply with what we're saying here, right? Or else the government is going down. Some parts of it, a partial shutdown here. JP Morgan says there is 70% chance of a U.S. government shutdown lasting 11 to 15 days. Here's what I think will happen. I think this week we'll see this next leg lower, right? And XRP is already dumping, which we called it before. If it does happen, I said we're going to be literally legendary, right? Look at this. The 4-hourly got confirmed, by the way. Bearish divergence right here, right? Boom. Let's go to a higher time frame. Let's go to like the 8-hourly. 8-hourly, 6-hourly got confirmed. 8-hourly is, I think, like turning right now, right? It's getting confirmed as we speak. 12-hourly, not yet confirmed, but getting there, right? It's forming right now as well. So if we see the 12-hourly, guys, this thing is going to go down 100%, right? To like 260 is my opinion here, okay? And you think we're just joking here? Literally, the previous video I posted tomorrow, right? We were at 287, right? It was fluctuating around this region, guys, and this is what we call for right here, right? Literally, this XRP to 260, it holds support right here, pump back up to the previous all-time highs. Okay, so that's what I think will happen, right? Due to all this chaos that's coming up here tonight. Let's see what happens, guys. This is so crazy because there's this indicator on the lower time frame of XRP, right before it dumped. This analyst says he's never seen this before. Right now, the delta is at minus 200% and buys are sitting at 0 for this indicator, right? Therefore, I think meaning that nobody's really buying XRP here, right? Or over there at 280, 290, guys, 290, right? And it was like a caution warning that possibly the trend is going to keep continuing downwards, right? Until we do see some buying pressure, and I think a bunch of it, we won't reverse trend. But I think Q4, guys, will be quite bullish, is my opinion here, right? Q4. So right now, what you should watch out for is a possible dump, but don't sell, because my feeling is they're going to hold it as support. Okay, they're going to hold this level as support. Okay, and then from here, I think we go higher, right? But remember, other charts from BC Backer and there's this one chart that they're pointing out. I think it was from CoinsKit. I looked at it, guys, and which was from BC Backer. I guess people in the comments were pointing out, but they're pointing out this chart right here. It's called Cardano, right? ADA, and so they're like, wait, there's a fractal that could be repeating with XRP here, right? If you go back to 2021, this area, this region, what does it remind you of, right? XRP had a structure forming like this. It pumped out right for another high here, and then right after it just collapsed on itself. Okay, if we were following Cardano's fractal here, we're probably, I think, in this region right here, right before the next leg lower, but hopefully not. But again, I think for XRP, we're here, we're gonna pump back up. That's what I think, right before whatever else happens next, right? So the only key levels for XRP to watch right now is, again, 260, right? Because that's previous support. And then it must hold there. If it doesn't, then it will die. But more likely than not, it will hold, guys, because it was a resistance beforehand, right? Flip it into support, and then we move back up like that, is my thinking. And hopefully it happens. But again, watch out for tonight. Partial government shutdown happening, and who knows what's going to happen, but a lot of chaos. Prepare, and don't sell. But anyways, that's all for this. See ya. Please like today's video as well. Thank you.